about I have my brother in the prison. Please go and check it out. Please go and visit my brother. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he's still alive or not. Guys, Africans, let's come together, man. Let's come together. We can't be treating one another like this. We can't. I know I put my life at risk saying this. I know because our governments, they don't want us to talk about this. But I'll be a hypocrite if I stand here, man, and I entertain this. And I don't say anything. I'll be a hypocrite. Africans who need to come together to defend our people. We can't keep doing this to our people, man. This is not good. It's not right. I went through that. I did not even release a video. I recorded a video of more than 1 hour explaining about the situation. I did not release it, and I will release it. Because yes, I went through good time in Zambia, but how I was treated at the border like a criminal. And it is not right. Africa, it is not right. We cannot keep doing that. We need to stop this. We need to change this because these are our people. This is the journey to one Africa. Everybody, welcome back to SNOA, and this is Mika. Let's get right into it. Let me just start by saying this, that I love Tanzania, and I love being Tanzanian. I love my country. I love my people. I love this beautiful country because I am who I am today because of God, and it's because of this country. Right now, I'm here working for a mission of One Africa, but I couldn't be more grateful of my country and the life that I lived in this country for 19 years, from 1 all the way to 19 years. And then I moved to another country, and now I'm back to this country. So everything that I'm gonna say here today, I have to say this, that I have to say this. I've been talking about this, and I'll keep talking about this because of the love that I have for this country. And I think when something is not right, we should all be aware and talk about it in a way that we as a people, we as a people give our opinion on the things that are happening right here in my beautiful country. And today I want to talk about something very sensitive that most of us, we don't talk about in this country. And that is so-called illegal migrants. I said this before in my conversation. I'm going to base on this one statement that I said: Africans can never be illegal migrants within the continent of Africa. They are Africans. And therefore, wherever that Africans will go, they are in their home, they are in their land. Because as an African, Africa is your continent. You are called African because you were born, or because Africa was born in you. That's the reason why we're being called African. But I do not understand when Africans, they move to other countries, so-called illegally, they immediately become illegal migrants. Or in Swahili we say wahamiaji haram. The word haram is illegal. I don't know how to translate it into English. Haram. How can I call it haram? Oh yeah, for those who do not understand Swahili, haram, it's the word that is being used like if you're a Muslim. You know, Muslim, they don't eat pork. Eating pork for Muslim is called haram. That's basically the meaning of the word haram. So all these migrants who are moving illegally in the country without the document, without official papers, they're being called illegal migrants. They'll be called wahamiaji haram. So there's a breakup of news that happened within 24 hours you know, more than actually 20 different migrants that they were being carried in one V8. They were captured at one of the borders near Arusha, and they were coming. These 20 people, they're actually Ethiopian. And this is not the only incident that has happened, but there's a lot of Ethiopians that have been trying to cross the borders of Tanzania, heading to South Africa, some of them residing here without official documents. And for many years, these people have been captured as illegal migrants, and some of them be kept in prison, and some of them being questioned. And let me say this, right before I build my point on this. First of all, I will say this, I understand why government is doing this. Because, first of all, the borders that we have in the continent, it was not initiated by us. Colonizers did, so that they can divide and conquer us and control us, so that we may not be able to do anything unless those borders. And I said this here before, that even the system of passport, it was brought in the continent by colonizers, because when they were dividing the continent, they were trying to figure out how can we separate Tanzania and Kenya and Uganda and other countries across the continent, because this is my territory. Okay, this is for German, this is my territory. That is for, that is for British, that is their territory. We cannot cross these borders and interfere with other people's resources unless you have official document, an official legal document for you to go to another place. So they basically initiated it to control their colonies, to protect their colonies. And therefore you are not allowed to move to another country illegally without those documents, without being permitted to go to another country. What did it do to the continent? It divided us. It separated us, because when you go to these borders, which I went so many times in different borders across the continent of Africa, you realize that these are actually one people, speak the same language, eating the same food, everything doing the same. But simply because of these borders, they're not recognized as one people. I myself just came from Zambia. I faced the same issue at the border when I was entering Zambia. I slept at the border for almost 48 hours. Simply because I was denied just to get a stamp to enter into Zambia, with no legitimate reason why. We don't even need a visa to go there. I had a passport, I went there to the immigration, but I was denied. So this is not just something that is happening in Tanzania. I want to be very clear. It happens to other countries as well, across the entire continent of Africa. It happens to all the countries in the continent of Africa. If you don't have passport, if you don't have legal document, then you'll be detained. So I understand why that is being done. So if I want to look at the problem is these borders that we have. The problem is this system, colonized system, that we still use to protect our people from our own countries. Because mind you, Africans, we are one people. That's one side of Tanzania. So I understand why this has been done. On the other side of Ethiopia, Ethiopians who are moving from the country and trying to find a better life either in Tanzania or either in South Africa, because most of them, they're running to South Africa. I understand why these people are doing that. Because I do understand the political situation in Ethiopia, and I do understand what Ethiopians are going through in Ethiopia, and therefore most of them, they don't feel safe in their own countries and trying to find a better life somewhere else. And I also understand how difficult it is for Ethiopians to get passport in Ethiopia. I understand. It is almost impossible to get a passport in Ethiopia. So I understand why these people are running away from their own country, trying to cross the borders illegally, going or finding a better life in another country in the continent. I understand. Because even myself, if I did not feel safe in my own country, I would try to find safety in somewhere else, whether I have a document or I don't. So if you're non-Ethiopian, let's say you're Tanzanian, you must understand that if you don't feel safe in your own country, you don't have passport, you don't have legal passport, and you don't have time to get that, you're going to try to find a better life somewhere else. So I do understand. And let's talk about this. Let's just talk about humanity. Let's talk about that. Either you're from Ethiopia, either you're from Congo, either from any other country. I do understand why you would try to cross by the borders to go to another country. My question is, do you government understand that? Because what we see on the news, I'm looking at this news today, I'm looking at officers talking about this and talking about illegal immigrants. I'm looking at this picture of these 20 guys crying, weeping at the station like a little babies. These are youth. They're not babies, but they're crying for their lives. This is news, it's out there. Because they're being detained and they don't know what their future is going to be like. And they are going to be brought to prison because of trying to find a better life within the continent. Because they're illegal immigrants. These are our fellow Africans. These are Africans. I feel responsible. I'll tell you this. Why do I feel responsible specifically for Ethiopians? Because I've been to that country more than 5 times, if not 6 times, in a single year. And I was treated nothing but like a king every single time I went to that country. I met great people in Ethiopia and I was treated like a king. Not only by the people, but also by the government. I gotta be honest with that. More than 5 times within a single country, I was treated like a king in that country. There's no single time that I was treated harshly, even though I said and a lot of controversial things, but nobody treated, forget about the online, comments and everything. Yes, I received backlash a lot of times, but every single time I went to that country, I was treated like a king. And it hurts my heart when I see my fellow Africans being treated like criminal in the country. And I gotta say this, that I also understand that not everybody act right when they cross by the borders. I understand. But let's think for a moment. If you treat someone like a criminal, how do you want them to react? These guys that are captured in the car trying to cross by, I don't know what is going to happen to them, but I'm talking to those other people that are still in prison today. I'm talking to those other so-called illegal immigrants that trying to find a better life. I'm going through these comments. Okay, this news was brought by Milad Ayo. That's what I'm looking. Shout out to Milad Ayo for this. I'm looking at the comments. And let me say this very specifically for Ethiopians. I'm looking at the comments, and all these comments are written in Swahili, but these are Tanzanians. Actually, they're siding with these people. This is what they say. I'm just going to read some of them. They say this. Okay, you have to, of course, you have to check these guys. You have to investigate them. You have to look at them. And if they don't have any threat to the country, please return them back home, because these are just youth. They came peacefully. They're just trying to find a better life for themselves. And they said, once you do that, please give them education, educate them on these issues of trying to move from one country to another country. Another comment, he said this. This is kind of came like a joke. He said this, oh, those are my guests. They're trying to cross by the borders to come all the way to South Africa. Please let them leave because they're trying to find a better life. Somebody say this. He say, okay, this is my suggestion. Please do not lock these people in prison, because these youth, they have their families and they're trying to find a better life. So please return them home, give them a job to help their families. Here, also give them education on how to travel from one border to another border. All these are positive comments. Another person, he say this. I'm trying not to read other comments that are not talking about them. They're talking about something else. He said this. He said, all Africans are one people. Please do not do anything bad to them. They are our fellow Africans. They are our family. Another person say that leave these people alone. They're just trying to find a better life in another country because the life in their country is too difficult. Another person say, please give them food. He say, okay, another person say this. If a white man trying to come to Africa, it's very easy. But for another African try to go to another African country, it's really hard. Somebody saying that, okay, these are Africans. All these borders, they were just drawn by the colonizers. So leave it. And another person is saying, is this necessary to call your fellow African illegal immigrants in the continent of Africa? Leave them alone. Because in their country, there's a war going on. Another person is saying, please give them even water to drink. Another person is saying, this is very sad. Let them leave. Let them go to South Africa. Another person say, please help these people. All of us, we are equal. Another person say that I'm sorry that you're going through that. Okay, all these comments, guys, all of them comment. I want to talk this to Ethiopians. All these comments are from Tanzanians who are actually begging the government to stand with these people. So let me say this. I know what I'm saying, it could be perceived as the government is doing a bad job. But let me be very clear about this, that the system and these borders, because these guys, what they're doing, they're just following the law. So if we want this to be changed, then we need to change the law. And changing the law is basically knowing that, okay, these borders that we have, they were introduced by colonizers. We are one people. And why don't we find a way to bring our people together as one people? Because they are our fellow Africans and they're trying to find a better life in the continent. We cannot detain them. We cannot do anything harm to them. We should try to help them. And this is my suggestion. That I know there's a lot of problems that are coming with this migration in one country from another country. I understand. And I'm not in the position to see every single day what are things happening in the country. There's some cases that people have been killed. There's some cases that people have been stolen their product. There's some cases like that. I do admit, yes. But why don't we find a way to help our people? Why don't we find a way to help diplomatically? Because these are our fellow people. And they're going through different in their own country. But if they're trying to find a better life in another country and then they end up in prison, they end up being humiliated like this in the media, crying like a little babies. This is not how we help our fellow Africans. This is not, and these are not illegal immigrants. Please don't keep calling them Wahamiaji Haram. This is not right. It is not right. They're not illegal immigrants. They're Africans. Why don't we support them? Why don't we find a way? If we capture them like this, why don't we return to their countries? Why don't we simply take them and return to their countries? Why don't we do negotiation with these borders? Why are we still keep entertaining these borders? These are our people. These are kids who have families. These are kids who have maybe kids, wife, and guys, I've been to Ethiopia more than 5 times. Yes, I went with my passport. Yes, I got visa. I went there. But man, the point is, I was treated like a king in that country. I can't sit here and look at this happen. I can't. Not only because I went to Ethiopia, but because, man, I believe in one Africa. I believe that Africa, we should stand together. When I went to Zambia, I saw how white people was treated there. We went for the same reason, but I was detained at the immigration, guys. I know how it feels to be detained there. I slept at the border in the train. And the next day I stay at the immigration from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's what I went through in the immigration. I know how it feels because I went through that. I know how it feels. I felt like a criminal. I took my everything. I was like, you know what? I'm going back to my country. That's what I said. I know how it feels. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't. It doesn't. This is what causes rages between one country and another country. I'm telling you, these people that we do this to them today, when they go back, one day they're the same people who will attack your country. I'm not saying that what will happen, but if you're treated like this, I'm telling you, at one point I was sitting at the border and like, why am I humiliated like this? Why am I being treated like a criminal? I've never done any criminality. I've never done anything bad to this country. It's my first time to come to this country. And then I found out that Wodemai was actually deported from Zambia. I've never done anything bad to this country. Why should I be treated like this? And I had passport, and I had, we don't need visa there. I had passport. So this is, if this happened to me with passport, imagine what will happen to somebody without a passport. So my point is this, to the government of Ethiopia and government of Tanzania. Recently, the Prime Minister of Ethiopia was here in Tanzania. I don't know what you talked about. And I myself, I paid a visit to the embassy of Ethiopia in Tanzania. I met with His Excellency, Ambassador here in Tanzania, to talk about these issues. We have seen this problem all the time. I've been seeing this news for a long time. And a lot of you Ethiopians have been reaching out to me about, I have my brother in the prison. Please go and check it out. Please go and visit my brother. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he's still alive or not. Guys, Africans, let's come together, man. Let's come together. We can't be treating one another like this. We can't. I know I put my life at risk saying this. I know because our governments, they don't want us to talk about this. But I'll be a hypocrite if I stand here, man, and I entertain this, and I don't say anything. I'll be a hypocrite. Africans who need to come together to defend our people. We can't keep doing this to our people, man. This is not good. It's not right. I went through that. I did not even release a video. I recorded a video of more than 1 hour explaining about the situation. I did not release it, and I will release it. Because yes, I went through good time in Zambia, but how I was treated at the border like a criminal. And it is not right. Africa, it is not right. We cannot keep doing that. We need to stop this. We need to change this, because these are our people. I don't know how you feel. I don't know, when you look at these people, I don't know how you look at them. If you look and you just see criminals, but they are not criminals. They are Africans, and they're not illegal migrants. They are Africans. They are in the continent of Africa. We should find a way to help and to support them, to find a better life for them. We can either return them home peacefully or trying to do something about them here. We must revisit our policies about these borders. These borders does not help us. These borders are keeping us apart. And we can't keep entertaining. So with all humility in my heart, and with all the love that I have for this country, for this great nation, I understand these are the laws that have been keeping this country safe for so long time. I understand. But this is not time to do something like this to our fellow Africans. Help them. Help them. Help them. Don't treat them like criminals. Don't treat them like criminals, because they're not criminals. I'm looking at this video. I'm looking at these guys. They're crying. Perhaps they've been traveling for many hours. Perhaps they found a little money and they gave this driver to drive them across the country. Perhaps you don't even when was the last time they ate. How can we help them? So my intention to make this video, not to create rage up between one country and another country, but to simply say this, that what is right and what is wrong. I think Tanzania, we are in the position to help immigrants, to help the fellow Africans. Let me remind you this, Tanzania. Baba Nyerere, the founder of this nation, he supported so many countries in Africa to fight for their independence. He did. And he was a close friend to Haile Selassie, the first king, one of the kings of Ethiopia. He was so close. The relationship between Tanzania and Ethiopia has been strong over the years. And the founder of this nation, he was so close. He supported so many countries. This time, nothing has changed yet. There's a fellow African countries like Congo, Ethiopia, Somalia, and some of the countries that are going through hell over and over again. And we, Tanzania, we are in a position to help and to support them, and not to treat them like criminals. I know we've been trying to do for a long time, but we can do better. That's all I'm saying. We can do better. I love my country, I love this nation, and I love being Tanzanian. And there are things that we can do right. So if you're listening to this, please know this. Please know this, that not me, but Tanzanians, go and see the comment section. Go and see how Tanzanians are reacting to this. They say, no, this is not the spirit of Tanzanians. This is not who we are. This is not who we are. This is not who we are. We can do better. And we must do better.
you.